How's it, everybody? Alright, I'm going to try and be more animated. I'm being told that I don't have enough exuberance when I get on these things. I get a little bit librarian-like. So we're talking about gratitude today. A lot of people have heard about gratitude. Now guys, just give me a sec. I want to share this into the everyday man. And I'm going to not break things as I go. Why is my take on gratitude different to what most people's? I guess that'll unfold as we go. I'm not going to give you that secret away too quickly. So I just came off a beautiful men's retreat up in Bundaberg in Australia with my good friend and brother Leon Christensen. We had a group of rural guys, farmers from 27 to 70, and I taught them and explained to them how to use gratitude in their lives. And I saw instant results, as I always do. But what I was really shocked at and incredibly humbled and pleased by was how open they were to the concept, how willing and prepared they were to understand what it was I was talking about, because this requires us to use this thing here. And you wouldn't have thought, again as a stereotype, that the hard-ass, rough exterior farmer or rural Australian really would want to go there. But they did, and I'm still hammering it, and I'm going to drive it and get it into a part of their lives where it becomes habit. Because humans seem to have gotten to a point where gratitude is completely devoid of existence for most of us. Now, you got a lot of cool books, and I think there's even a movie and all this about gratitude, and what I see is a lot of people with a mechanical understanding of gratitude. So get up in the morning, write a gratitude list. There are millions upon millions of you who get up and write a gratitude list every single day. The problem is you're doing it for mechanical reasons. You're doing it because someone told you to do it. You're not doing it because you believe in it. You haven't done the research and the exploration into what gratitude truly means for you. Therefore, you're basically just spewing up a bunch of stuff because someone told you to do it. If you don't feel gratitude, it's a waste of fucking time. And I guess I'm a little bit passionate about this is because I see massive amounts of money. I see an industry created around this. I see very few people actually walking around embodying gratitude. I see tons of posts on Facebook talking about it. I see a bunch of people spiritual touristing it, pretending that they're grateful, but I don't see it as an example being shared often when I walk around the world. So what I'm going to give you, I guess, today is just a little bit of what I see or what I do differently. I'm not going to give you the whole thing because I'd put myself out of business, because it's a cornerstone of my work. If you're not practicing gratitude daily, if it's not something that you do every single day, it will not stay present in your life. It will not stick to you, and it will not radiate outwards and become a part of your energy flow. Many theories for why this is. I think we're bombarded with incredibly selfish, arrogant and self-righteous imagery. I think we're raised in a world that teaches us and bombards us with messages that tell us to focus on ourselves and ourselves only. I think we're bombarded by a massive amount of fear that has us believing that we need to look after ourselves as number one and number one only. I think we've been taught parenting styles that then sadly leads this on to our kids. Again, I'm not blaming anyone for their behaviour. I'm just pointing out that we live in a bizarre society with a bunch of mixed messages and a lot of knowledge, but very little wisdom. I'll say that again, a lot of knowledge, very little wisdom, which is a bunch of words, a bunch of regurgitated other people's information. So everyone can quote Lipton, everyone can quote Sadhguru, everyone can quote other people, but very rarely do they have their own perspective or take on any of these subjects, so they're just rereading someone else's information. My aim is to be one of those. And the world is amiss with coaches and counsellors and shrinks and psychs, and I'm hoping that we start to see a change and a shift in some of the techniques they use, because we've seen these studies being done all through the States. We've seen doctors using gratitude as a simple part of their prescription for themselves every day, and this radiates toward their patients. We're seeing studies on empathy and how then this is studied within the medical industry in America, and how this now radiates out towards the people that they heal. So practice gratitude every day without fail. Start your day with it. It should be third or fourth on your morning routine at the very worst. Practice gratitude with your kids. Don't sit holed up in an office or a quiet place and hide when you do your gratitude. Sit outside, sit in the lounge room with your kids on your lap, sit in bed with your kids in there and include them in your gratitude. This is a very important lesson, because gratitude is an energy, and when you feel it here, when you take it out of here, it will radiate outwards in your household, which means that when you're grateful, your kids will feel your gratitude, they will become grateful, and this will become an energy that permeates your home. Now, I can't highlight how important this is. We've gotten to a point where personal development has become a bit of a selfish thing, where we take ourselves off to personal retreats, and we take ourselves off to our office to write our gratitude lists, and we take ourselves off to read our self-help books. We don't share this knowledge with those in the family. We make it all about us. It's about me, it's about my journey. And that's very important that we understand it is our journey, but it's also very important that we share that journey with those we love around us, because by being examples of working this personal development, by being an example of working gratitude, by being an example of these things within our household, our partners and our kids get to feel that example and get to understand it and want to know more about it too. Okay, now here's the real important bit, gratitude, the kicker. If you're writing a gratitude list and a list of things you're grateful for and you're not including the why, then again, I'm sorry, my humble opinion is you're completely wasting your time. Gratitude is not in the things, it's in the why. When you write a list of things like, I'm grateful for that fan being on right now because it's stinking hot in here, it's a mechanical process that comes from your mind. Gratitude does not live in your mind. Gratitude does not have anything to do with your mind. Gratitude is a feeling. And if you're not encouraging, fostering, developing, and creating a feeling of gratitude in your heart, then you're wasting your time. I can see people jumping on and off, and it quite spurs me on to go even further with this. People don't like to hear this message. They like to think that The Secret and these other books told them how to do this, and some pipsqueak Aussie sitting in his desk in Australia telling you you're doing it wrong can't be right. Well, I'm sorry, I see it in the results of the work I do. And if you practice daily, if you focus on the why in your gratitude, if you go into the fine details of the why, and this is the more important part, for the people who write a gratitude list and then write a why, if you're not going into the fine details of the why, again, you're still living in that mechanical place where you're writing the gratitude from up here, you're not writing it from down here. Sometimes, and more often than not, humans have got so caught up in the mental process and the idea that the mind is this governing part of us that we need to listen to and let it rule our decisions and rule everything, that we've got to go into the real fine details that before gratitude will connect with our heart. So if you're grateful for a sunny day, you could say, I'm grateful for a sunny day because of the warmth or because I get to go to the beach. But if that's not enough and you're not feeling it, if you're not getting that tingle of gratitude, then you need to go into the fine details, like the feeling of cold water on your skin, the feeling of sand between your toes, the feeling as you get on your paddleboard and you head out to sea, the sound of birds as you hit the beach. You've got to go into the fine details now. And this is simply, again, because of the mixed messages we're surrounded by. If you're continually being bombarded by fear, uncertainty, and the idea that everything is about self, just you, no one else but you, worry about your journey, don't worry about anyone else, everyone's got their own thing, then you need to push harder into your gratitude. You need to go into the very, very, very fine details of what you're grateful for. Now, I promise you, and I really sincerely don't use that word promise unless it's coming from my heart, you need to practice this daily, every single day for 30 days minimum, and you need to go into the fine details. I'm happy to guide people, I'm happy to share my story and how I did this for 7 months at one point. I want to see the world a grateful place. I want to see people giving from a true place of sincerity, and not because their mind is telling them it's the right thing to do. Not because they feel obliged. Not because there's an expectation that if I give, the world will give back. Because if that's the way you're playing the game, that doesn't work. That corrupt idea of manifestation that if you give, you get back, isn't the way it is. You have to feel it and you have to start being sincere about it. We don't live in a sincere society. That's no one's fault. It's just the way it is. So maybe it's time we started questioning that. Maybe we started sharing more of that. Maybe we started actually going into our own experiences more and stopped regurgitating other people's bits of knowledge and other pieces of wisdom that really don't belong to us. That's my take on gratitude for today. I'm going to keep sharing it. Thanks very much for the time and the space, people. As always, it's been a pleasure.